Hey, good morning everyone. It's Tuesday morning here, minus 27. It was minus 36 yesterday morning. Went to go to work and my propane truck wouldn't pump propane. So I spent about 8 hours, 9 hours yesterday trying to figure out what was wrong with that and waiting for parts this morning. So I figured I'd just show you the procedure here for making the prize I'm giving away for closest guess to the weight of this 28 Dodge. They're the Chrysler Pentastar logos that I have on my running boards, roof, and on the front apron here. So I'll just show you how I get started on this. I've got some leftover 18 gauge steel from all the floor panels and everything. I have my buck is a 1/4 inch plate that I carefully cut out the Pentastar in, and I use that for pounding the steel into to give it its shape. The outer holes here I use to hold everything together while I'm doing the steel beating on it, and then the center holes, and there's a line you can see, that's my cut line. I cut it out, and then these holes are where the copper rivets will go in. So I'll get this kind of set up here to where I start beating on it, and then I'll bring you right back. Okay guys, we're all set up to start doing the hammer forming. I've got the sheet is screwed down. The metal buck with the Pentastar on it is sandwiched between this piece of plywood and the sheet of steel. I've marked the edges of the depressions that go into the buck. So I'm gonna start hammering on these. I'll start off with probably a 2-pound ball peen, and then I'll go down to my light 1/2 pound ball peen to finish shaping them out, and then I'll bring you back here. So it's going to get awful loud, so I'll just you'll have to trust me, it's a bunch of pounding. Okay guys, I got the first stage done. These are probably around 3/8 of an inch deep, the depressions. There is relief cuts in the plywood that allow for the steel to go down inside there. So the next stage, I moved from my big 24-ounce 2-pounder to my little one. I have got the all of the edges on these I've smoothed off on my belt sander so that it doesn't leave bad marks into the steel. And now I'm just going to work all of these dimples from the bigger hammer down with my small one, get nice crisp edges, and then from there I will go over to the planishing hammer just to smooth out what's left over there from the small ball peen. So we'll be back again shortly. Okay guys, so we're back. I've got all of the depressions hammered in, pretty much worked out. I run my fingers around feeling for high spots that have to go down. There's a little bit of one right there. You just planish them down so they feel nice and consistent. Check them all. It's supposed to look like it's a hand-hammered finish, and it is. So next thing I'm going to do is take the piece of steel off the jig. Takes about an hour and a half to finish one. So now it comes off. Here's what you end up with. We have the raised portion. I'll just take you out of the tripod, bring you down. See, we have the shape. It's raised up. Get you down low here so you can see they're raised up probably close to 3/8 of an inch. So the next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to put my template or my buck, sharp edges here, on top. And I'm going to mark out the perimeter, get this cut out, and then I'm going to run it through the planishing hammer just to smooth out the centers of these, give them a little bit more definition. Okay, I have my buck centered on top of the jig or the sheet. I use clecos to hold it exactly in place. And then I marked my 5 perimeter holes where the rivets go prior to putting it through the planishing hammer and cutting it to size here. So next I'm going to take the clecos off. If I can do this one-handed. If you guys don't have clecos and cleco pliers, you really need to get some. They're cheap. eBay, a starter kit, is like 30 bucks. It's like having an extra set of hands. So now I have my corners marked. I used the other part of my template, another Bud Light case, and I marked the corners. I'm going to finish these straight edge lines across, cut those out, and then I can take it to the planishing hammer. Okay guys, so we have the piece all cut out. I scribe it and then use my belt sander to, I cut it a little bit on the outside of the scribe line and then take it down to the scribe line with my belt sander. Well, I'm now set up ready to go in my planishing hammer here. Well, I'm using the tallest radius buck that comes with the planishing hammer so that it fits into the depressions really well. To set up, get it started here. Don't forget to wear your hearing protection because it's loud. And I'll just do a little bit here and then so as you can see here, the textured surface on this one, and that little bit of time in the planishing hammer smoothed this right out. Now it's not going to smooth it out right to the edges because it won't go in there. But what I do is just take and get the center smoothed out here. So I'll bring you back once I got that all done. It also puts a little bit of curve in the panel, which I'll straighten out on my brake. I'll show you in a little bit here. Okay, so I've got all 5 of the raised areas planished. Smooths them out really nice in the centers, but as you can see, I've got a fair bit of curve to all of the edges. So what I do is I put it in my brake, even with the bottom of the depression, tighten the brake down just a little bit of upward pressure on it, and it pretty much takes the curve out of the panel. I'm going to do that to all 5. This part, it's real important you put the same amount of up pressure on them all so you don't get everything out of shape too much. One more. Okay, so now as you can see, most of the curve is gone. Looks a lot better. Next thing I'm going to do is drill the 5 holes for the outer copper rivets, and then I'll bring you back when I install them. Okay guys, I don't know if you can see that. That's the copper rivet I'm using. They're called a brazier head. They just got a rounded head. They're 3/16. I've put the first one in because it's a bit tricky to do with, I put a copper wire lug on it to be able to hang it from. So I just insert the rivet, trying to do that. Looks like that hole needs a little trimming. Let's try it, everyone. See what happens here. Some of these rivets are not made quite right. eBay stuff. Okay, that one's not working, so let's try a different one. Okay, give me a sec here. Be right back. Talk about being prepared. So all I'm going to do is run the drill through just to open it up a little bit. Rivet goes in fine now. What I use is a air chisel. It's got a special brazier head tool adapter. I find if you use a piece of tape, it keeps it centered on the rivet, doesn't slide off as much. I have the rivet in, sitting flush with the top of the sheet. Put it on my and it rivets it down nice and straight. And that's it. I'll do the other 4. And the other thing I've done is I sanded the whole upper surface with some 400 grit sandpaper. Because this is a rat rod channel, I'm not painting it. I want it to patina. If the winner wants to paint it, I'll leave it up to them. So I'll be back when it's all complete here. Okay guys, we're back. Here's the finished piece, all ready to start rusting for you. I wiped her down good with acetone, so she's good to start getting some patina. So make sure you tune in Sunday. We'll see who is the closest to the actual weight of this car and find out where I'm going to send this piece. So anyhow guys, thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you Sunday.